where I finally said, I'm going to do this. And I'll be darned if it didn't work. I feel a million times better than I ever did.
Another satisfied customer of the Good Feet store is Wendy.
Since wearing my arch supports from the Good Feet store, my back pain is gone and my feet don't hurt as much. And as I look into the future without pain, I see myself being even more adventurous, joyful, and full of possibility.
Come to the Good Feet store today for your free fitting and test walk. We're located in Castleton by the Fashion Mall or in Greenwood just off the 65. Or book your free fitting at goodfeet.com. Good Feet arch supports are HSA and FSA eligible. Discover your options at the Good Feet store.
IMI is hiring quality control personnel, plant managers, and sales representatives in the greater Indianapolis area. Learn more at driveimi.com. driveimi.com.
No Kid Hungry is providing healthy meals and hope to hungry kids so they can build better futures. Learn more at helpnokidhungry.org.
Bum, 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 Iran. Bum, 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 Iran.
This is Saturday Night on The Circle on 93 WIPC.
What country's got a feeling really hit the ceiling? Bum, Iran. Bum, 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 Iran.
Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. Can't believe we are back here again. I believe this was the first show to break the Iranian strike back in June as well of last year when President Trump bombed key nuclear installations. At the time, he said their nuclear capabilities were decimated, but it appears that within a relatively short amount of time, they were able to get those back up and running and still on their way to producing nukes. Of course, the former Ayatollah Khamenei, I say former because according to reports, the Ayatollah is no longer. He has been killed in the United States and Israeli joint strike on his compound, but up to that point had refused to back down from his quest to obtain nuclear weapons. Now, of course, you cannot kill knowledge. That knowledge is already out. It exists. It has been let loose. You can't put the genie back in the bottle. There will be more scientists. If you kill one, there will be another. Just like military leaders, if you destroy one, there will be another to take his place. Now, the immediate successor to the Ayatollah's regime for Ali Khamenei has also apparently been killed in the U.S. and Israeli strikes. This is a rapidly developing situation. They attacked several key areas for the Iran military earlier in the day, as reported by Fox News. Let us see if I am muted. I am not muted. Let's try that again. Is the host PC on and up? Program 1.
I've just received a list of some of the early targets that have been attacked inside Iran. Let me read to you from that. There have been attacks on the Iranian parliament, the National Supreme Council, the Ministry of Intelligence, the Iranian Atomic Energy Agency, and also cyber attacks on news agencies such as IRNA. So this is very significant.
It's a lucky thing I had my pieces.
Your pieces?
My guns.
Oh.
Anyway, I started blasting. Bah!
Wow.
Bah!
Now, the people of Iran are reportedly celebrating after there were mass protests across the nation in December, in January, that were brutally struck down by the Ayatollah Khamenei and his regime. Thousands of civilians being killed in those strikes. And now they have a golden opportunity to enact regime change in the nation. However, President Trump apparently lacked congressional authorization for these attacks. And while I believe it is probably a good thing for the people of Iran, it is concerning when so much power is being concentrated in the hands of the President of the United States, whose leadership could change at any time. And I firmly believe that two things can be true at once. Earlier in the day, of course, the foreign minister, Abbas Araghchi, had it maintained that the Ayatollah Khamenei was still alive. I believe the Iranian media is still pushing that, but at this point, with both Israel and the United States confirming the death of the Ayatollah, not sure that's the case, despite what he told NBC earlier in the day.
Ayatollah Ali Khamenei's compound, which can be seen in satellite photos as mere rubble. It's not clear whether the Ayatollah was there. Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi spoke to NBC moments ago and was asked to confirm whether the Ayatollah and the Iranian president are still alive.
As far as I know, yes, they are alive, and the head of judiciary as well, the head of the Speaker of Parliament as well, all high-ranking officials are alive, and the Secretary of the National Security Council. So everybody is now in its position, and we are handling this situation, and everything is fine.
All right, move on. Nothing to see here. Please disperse. Nothing to see here, please.
Yeah, everything was not fine for the Iranian military leadership. Several of them have now been obliterated. Iranian military leadership, at least for the time being, is completely crippled. It has thrown the country into confusion, and now will be an excellent test of Trump's foreign policy, whether or not the civilians are able to wrest control from the military dictatorship, or whether this will be in vain. In the past, the United States has had limited success with military intervention and regime change. Maybe this will be a change of course. At this point, only time will tell, because Donald Trump has moved so swiftly in this, and his impetus for doing so was to stop their acquisition of nuclear warheads.
Iran refused, just as it has for decades and decades. They've rejected every opportunity to renounce their nuclear ambitions, and we can't take it anymore. Instead, they attempted to rebuild their nuclear program and to continue developing long-range missiles that can now threaten our very good friends and allies in Europe, our troops stationed overseas, and could soon reach the American homeland. Just imagine how emboldened this regime would be if they ever had and actually were armed with nuclear weapons as a means to deliver their message. For these reasons, the United States military is undertaking a massive and ongoing operation to prevent this very wicked, radical dictatorship from threatening America and our core national security interests. We are going to destroy their missiles and raise their missile industry to the ground. It will be totally, again, obliterated. We're going to annihilate their navy. We're going to ensure that the region's terrorist proxies can no longer destabilize the region or the world and attack our forces, and no longer use their IEDs or roadside bombs, as they are sometimes called, to so gravely wound and kill thousands and thousands of people, including many Americans. And we will ensure that Iran does not obtain a nuclear weapon. It's a very simple message. They will never have a nuclear weapon.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Now, look, on the one hand, we can definitely say that Trump has been extremely successful in this targeted military strike against Iran. I mean, he took out the leader, for gosh sakes. But the problem is that it's like whack-a-mole in the Middle East. And dictators are a dime a dozen in those countries. As soon as you remove one, another moves to take their place. Look at the instability of Iraq, which has never recovered after the capture and removal of Saddam Hussein. Look at Libya, which continues to be in turmoil after the removal of Muammar Gaddafi. Look at Afghanistan, for that matter. After the United States had engaged in conflict against the Taliban for 2 decades, pretty much nonstop, and after their military withdrawal during the Biden administration, the Taliban just moved very quickly back in, and we were left with a refugee crisis to deal with, and several hostile Afghanistan former allies were allowed to come into the country and then attacked citizens here. So it has been a repeated problem, and I question the permanence of this outcome, because let's not forget, all the way back in June, we were told that the nuclear program had been crippled And yet that same nuclear program is exactly what Donald Trump had moved against today. And although there have been no reported American casualties yet, that could be coming, which is a possibility that Donald Trump himself raised during his address to the nation.
My administration has taken every possible step to minimize the risk to U.S. personnel in the region. Even so, and I do not make this statement lightly, the Iranian regime seeks to kill. The lives of courageous American heroes may be lost and we may have casualties. That often happens in war. But we're doing this not for now. We're doing this for the future. And it is a noble mission. We pray for every service member as they selflessly risk their lives to ensure that Americans and our children will never be threatened by a nuclear-armed Iran.
Some of you may die, but it's a sacrifice I am willing to make.
The service members, the men and women who valiantly sacrifice their lives for our country, always stand ready to do their duty when called without hesitation and without question. It's our responsibility to ensure that their sacrifice is not made in vain. It is made for just reasons, and the outcome is made permanent, so that way their sacrifices are not as wasted as they were in the war against Afghanistan. Time will tell how that continues to develop, and we will report on it here on 93 WIBC. Stay tuned, because coming up next, I'm going to talk about several of the bills that made their way through the legislature as this year's legislative session has come to a close. We'll be discussing that coming up next. Stay tuned.
When traffic's a bear, Matt Bear is a beast.
On the north side, 465 East is a parking lot for Meridian. Also, we have slow traffic from 82nd Street all the way up to 860.
When you need to get from here,
if you're coming in from Hamilton County, it's gonna be tough.
To there.
Bad news is 70 West is stopped near the Cloverdale exit.
Matt Bear, mornings and afternoons.
Good news is, Tony, they're gonna get to listen to your entire show this morning.
93 WIBC.
Get the Dugan Air Premium Service Tune-Up for just $57. The Dugan Air experts won't just inspect, they will fine-tune your furnace to perfection with a detailed 27-point safety check. Plus, Dugan Air's no breakdown guarantee means you'll bask in comfort all winter long without worry. In Johnson County and South Central Indiana, experience the Dugan difference. Dugan Air is your American Standard Mitsubishi Electric Elite Ductless Pro dealer. Go DuganAir.com.
Premium service, no shenanigans.
Hey, what's going on? It's Hammer from the Hammer and Nigel show. And I'm not going to lie to you. I needed help. I got a bald spot in the back of my head, and it's embarrassing. I see it when I'm on television. I see it when I'm on the YouTube channel. So I decided to reach out for help. And my friends at We Grow Hair Indie decided to help me out here. These guys are the absolute best. I was a little leery about it. I could not have a procedure that, one, hurt, or two, left me looking like I'd been scalped. But after I talked with Darren and the entire team at We Grow Hair Indie, they told me their state-of-the-art technology, the progress made in hair growth, it's going to be okay. If I can do this, you guys can do this. Contact the team at We Grow Hair Indie, 317-522-2995. That's 522-2995. Get that free evaluation. It's free. You can also go online to WeGrowHairIndie.com. Contact them today and do this with me. WeGrowHairIndie.com.
Are you tired of hearing strange noises coming from your furnace in that one scary room in your basement? Are you losing sleep at night knowing you may wake up with frostbite? Worry no more with a $49 furnace evaluation from Hope Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. For just $49, Hope will come give you peace of mind by making sure your furnace is in good shape, keeping the cold air and frostbite outside. Call Hope Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling today.
This month, Pure Talk is honoring Jackson and Lincoln by offering unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data for just $25 a month. Meanwhile, Big Wireless is honoring Ben Franklin by charging families hundreds of dollars for the same 5G coverage. What? Franklin wasn't even a president. Hang on to those Benjamins. Dial pound 250, say Micro, and save 50% off your first month. That's pound 250, Micro, to switch to an American wireless company that's truly unprecedented. Pure Talk.
There's one name for every home system. Chapman. Heating, air conditioning, plumbing, drains, electrical. and now proudly serving Bloomington. Remember the man for all seasons, and now more reasons. Chapman, ChapmanHeating.com.
To protect his family from disaster, Steve used his camera phone.
Done.
By taking pictures of his important documents, Steve can always have them stored online. Learn more simple disaster prep tips at ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
Stand Up to Cancer asked leading cancer researchers to speak about why they do their work.
Two words come to mind for me. One is responsibility, the other is purpose.
It's just so inspiring to do research that impacts human lives.
Stand Up to Cancer has been a critical partner in advancing research for cancer.
Cancer research saves lives.
So please, help us fight in this battle against cancer.
Be a part of the team that ends cancer at standuptocancer.org.
Indy Humane, committed to helping Central Indiana's pets in need since 1905. Find your new best friend today. IndyHumane.org.
Find the path to recovery that works for you. Learn more at cdc.gov/stopoverdose.
The Indianapolis Public Library. More than just books. Visit your local branch today.
Did you write the book of love, and do you have faith in God above? If the Bible tells you so.
You're listening to Saturday Night on The Circle on 93 WIBC.
Can music save your mortal soul?
Welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen. This is the one and only Saturday Night on The Circle. I'm your host, Ethan Hatcher. That's producer Gavin in the producer's fishbowl. And we begin this segment by discussing really some bad practices by the legislature. And the Indiana legislature is far from the only entity that engages in this kind of activity. But you've seen that more often than not, the worst amendments to bills, the least popular legislation, some of the most disastrous and consequential alterations to government take place in the form of non-germane, that is totally unrelated amendments that are snuck into the language of otherwise popular or uncontroversial bills in order to get those less popular elements to be passed. In this case, you can hear the conference committee discussing their plan before the legislative session ended to merge elements of House Bill 1406, which deals with property tax, mostly notifications being sent out by the assessors to give you a little bit more awareness about changes in rates that are made. Look, I guess the newsflash is they're going up. They're always going up because we haven't fixed the assessment loophole. The homeowners will continue to be punished. And they were talking about merging elements of Senate Bill 4 into House Bill 1406. The most important part to this, though, is that it was unrelated and they didn't know what language they were putting in. Listen to how it's discussed in the conference committee.
Just kind of let you know before I have the members say a few words if they so choose. Senate Bill 1406. The intent is right now to take language that's in other bills and put it in there. Ooh. Nothing at this point, in my view, will go in there is going to be controversial. A lot of it comes from Senate Bill 4. And so just so you know that, it will be real non-germane. But that's the intent at this point.
No, don't like that.
Regardless of what their intent is, whether that's, efficiency in the legislature or whether it's something a little bit more dubious, it looks shady as hell when you are trying to, in the last hour, sneak in language from other bills and put them into bills that are completely unrelated. And it looks utterly, utterly incompetent when the language that you're slotting in, you don't even know the language, don't even know what aspects of the bill are being inserted. That, my friends, is a recipe for disaster. And when I say that they don't know, they truly don't know because they said it out loud.
Chairman, you say you're going to take some language out of which bills?
It'll probably be mostly out of Senate Bill 4. I mean, the language we passed out of there, it's going to be real non-germane's my understanding. So that'll be, we'll say all of it, maybe modified some, but that's the intent as of right now.
Holy Jesus. What is that? What
the is that? So when asked to specify, he was unable to do so because he was unaware of the language that was being included. Count me out on this one. That sounds like a recipe for disaster. When you don't know what language will be used in the bill, does that sound like good governance to anyone? No, that is a recipe for incompetence and disaster. Other bills to make their way through the legislature. SB 1, a very important bill that deals with more oversight and reporting to the state agencies before funds are released. It has to do with misappropriation of Medicaid and SNAP benefits, mostly due to federal legislation that was passed, which would penalize states for allowing fraudulent payments to take place above a certain threshold. And it is disheartening to hear exactly how much fraud is taking place, even in the state of Indiana. Now, we, of course, are aware of the billions of fraud that have taken place in Minnesota completely unchecked, but there's as high as 1 in 5 fraudulent, misappropriated payments to Medicaid recipients here in the state of Indiana, and SB 1 would at least in part help resolve that issue by making more transparent reporting to the agencies before those funds are released.
This bill is a priority bill for your caucus, so I wanted to make sure I understand the impetus behind it. Is this to make sure we don't have fraud and abuse in the implementation of Medicaid or people who receive Medicaid?
This entire bill is focused around the Medicaid error payment rate and the SNAP error payment rate.
And the error payment rate is the rate where we pay people that either receive benefits or are ineligible for benefits, but for some other reason, they actually get the benefit anyway, right?
Not exactly. So under H.R. 1, which was passed through Congress, as you well know, it put error payment rates in for states around Medicaid and SNAP.
Okay.
And so with SNAP in particular, the error payment rate threshold is 6%. So any state that's over 6% will now get dinged with penalties. To put it in perspective for all of you watching, Indiana is currently at 9.5%.
All right.
Which would calculate to about $143 million in penalties to the state. Now that's just SNAP, friends. If you look at Medicaid, the Medicaid error payment rate threshold is 3%. Indiana's currently at 19.3. So what does that mean in real Hoosier taxpayer dollars? About $2.25 billion of general fund monies to go to pay penalties.
Surely you can't be serious. I am serious, and don't call me Shirley.
Can you believe that almost 10% of SNAP payments are fraudulent, almost 20% of Medicaid benefits fraudulent here in the United States? And that's money that is being wasted by you. And further penalties that would also have to be shouldered by the Indiana taxpayer should those thresholds be exceeded. So yes, SB 1 is incredibly important. That bill would also codify the ban on SNAP benefits being spent on candy, soda, sugary beverages, or other unnecessary food items. And look, at the end of the day, shouldn't taxpayer resources be spent on necessities rather than luxuries? I mean, it's not supposed to be a cakewalk if you are on the government dole, or at least it shouldn't be in concept. That has, of course, evolved over time and incentivized in some way, in some aspects, I should say, individuals never to leave those doles. Another bill to make its way through the legislature this session was SB 76, Immigration Matters, which is very important right now, considering the waves of illegals that have been allowed to invade our country following the Biden administration. And Senator Chris Garton, gave compelling testimony from the General Assembly floor about this bill.
Senator Lysing, you made a comment about 137 illegals in Indiana. 62% of them have lived here over 10 years. I want to be explicitly clear. I don't care how long they've been here. They need to get out. And I support every method of getting every illegal alien out of Indiana today. I don't care who they work for. I don't care how many family members are here. Makes no difference to me. I will support every method of removing an illegal alien out of this country. This year alone, I've heard members in this chamber refer to ICE as an armed militia. I've heard claims that they're killing people execution style in the streets. I've heard chaos is being sown by ICE agents. Those are quotes. Let me tell you who's sowing chaos, friends. Democratic operatives. And because of the dialogue that's being spewed from the left, folks are putting their lives in danger, and they're endangering the lives of ICE agents and federal law enforcement. I've heard a lot of people sitting up here today, and there's a lot of folks in the hallway that are here to defend illegal aliens. But let me tell you what I haven't heard from this chamber. I haven't heard anybody try to defend Laken Riley. Not one person. I haven't heard anybody stand up here and try to defend Jocelyn Nungary or Rachel Morin or Santiago Lopez Morales or Megan Bose or Luis Jocelyn Nanez Lopez. Not one person. Who's going to be their voices? Who's going to be the voices of the over 4,000 Americans who have been murdered by illegal aliens? Who? Well, I hope today it's my party. I hope today it's members of my party.
Oh, man. That was totally wicked!
That, my friends, is the kind of representation that we expect from our elected officials, speaking with great clarity in defense of United States citizens, prioritizing United States citizens, and putting America first. Because, look, of course our country generously accepts immigrants from other who want to be part of this great American experiment, to take their own slice of the American dream. We just expect you to follow our immigration procedures, so that way we can make sure that immigrants with, for example, pre-existing criminal convictions, especially those who have already been convicted here in the United States multiple times, potentially, are not admitted into the country to terrorize and potentially take the life of American citizens. It's very clear, and there have been repeated examples where this has happened. Chris Garton from the House floor, or from the Senate floor, I should say, in the General Assembly, mentioning their names and speaking in their defense. And there sadly are a large number of American citizens that have drank the Kool-Aid and been brainwashed into supporting their own demise. In Irvington, there was a pop-up protest on Friday afternoon in defense of illegal immigrants, but fortunately, not all in the General Assembly are so insane. Thank you for listening to Saturday Night on the Circle. Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen, because the sound dump is coming up next.
Let's begin. Let's talk about your relationship.
I can't stand all these wild swings, Doc. It's driving me crazy. It's hot, it's cold.
How does that make you feel?
Oh, I'm so confused. I can't figure out how to act, what to wear.
Listen up, Buttercup. You're in Indiana. This is the way it is. Just listen to WIBC.
Are the weather swings about to put you in therapy? Save yourself the copay and listen to WIBC for updates, because it could change in the next 10 minutes.
Shall we schedule something next week?
Your winter therapy station, 93 WIBC.
If you owe back taxes, listen carefully to rule number 1. Never go up against the IRS alone. They're cracking down, freezing bank accounts, garnishing paychecks, canceling passports. Even your home or business could be at risk. But here's what they don't tell you. The IRS has powerful tax relief programs that could save you thousands if you qualify. That's why smart people call Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax resolution firm. Nobody knows these programs like the experts at Optima. Their team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $2 billion in tax debt for people just like you. The IRS is not stopping, so don't wait, and don't take them on alone. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, call Optima today for a free consultation.
Call 800-598-4799. 800-598-4799. 800-598-4799.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Statistics show roughly 20 veterans die by suicide every single day. And every day, more than 1,000 dogs are euthanized.
After the Navy, I became a recluse.
I felt like I was still in combat mode.
I felt lost and confused.
For 15 years, Canines for Warriors has been the nation's leading nonprofit organization, providing service dogs for veterans battling PTSD and other invisible wounds of war.
Thanks to my service dog, Lady Cameo, I got my life back.
I'm able to get out of bed in the morning.
Be excited, happy about today.
More than 1,200 veteran lives saved, more than 2,500 dogs rescued, families made whole again. Canines for Warriors is more than a service dog program. It's a promise that no veteran should ever walk alone. To learn more, visit caninesforwarriors.org. Canines for Warriors, saving veterans, rescuing dogs, restoring families.
Fox News, I'm Gianna Gelosi. President Trump speaking with Minnesota leaders to try to put an end to the unrest in the state, deploying his border czar Tom Homan to lead ICE operations.
He will be reporting directly to the president. Border Patrol Commander Gregory Bavino had been acting as the Border Patrol lead here, even hosting daily press conferences, really the face of the operation here. But Bavino is now returning to be sector chief in El Centro, California, and other Border Patrol agents are leaving as well.
Fox's Matt Finn, at least 34 people dead after that massive winter storm. It's still bringing bone-chilling temperatures nationwide. Fox Weather's Melanie Black in Boston, where almost 2 feet of snow fell.
And that snow is not going anywhere anytime soon. Our Fox Weather Forecast Center is calling for high temperatures in the 20s and overnight lows in the single digits this week.
America's listening to Fox News.
Hey, Max, you look absolutely dashing in that purple tie. Ready to harness the world?
You bet, Daisy. I'm ready as I'll ever be. And might I say, your purple tie really pops with your vest.
Thanks. I almost went with a cape, but didn't want to come across as pretentious.
Nonsense. Anyone in our line of work should rock a cape.
You might be onto something, Max.
Phew, so here we go. First day on the job. We've got this, right?
Right. Don't forget, we both graduated from Dogs Inc. with honors.
Which means I can guide my human around a busy city with ease.
And I can give my human a restful night.
I hope my human is kind and loving.
And I hope mine likes wet kisses and zoomies.
Ready to make a difference?
Born ready. Let's go.
Discover how extraordinary dogs like Daisy and Max change lives at no cost to the recipients. Visit dogsinc.org.
After my injury, I lost my sense of purpose.
I lost my peace of mind.
My independence.
I lost the ability to tuck my daughters into bed.
My sense of safety.
These veterans are just a few of the men and women we serve at Homes for Our Troops. For nearly 1,800 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers. We build specially adapted homes with features like wheelchair access, roll-in showers, and pull-down cabinets that allow them to live independently and focus on their recovery and family. This life-changing gift of freedom is provided mortgage-free, thanks to donors and supporters.
Homes for Our Troops gave me stability.
Financial freedom to grow our family.
A mental reset. A home where I can be a dad.
Homes for Our Troops gave me a brighter future.
We need you to join us in completing our important mission. Learn more at hfotusa.org.
All my friends are heathens, take it slow. Wait for them to ask you who you know. Please don't make any sudden moves.
You're listening to Saturday Night on the Circle on 93 WIBC.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time once again to don those handy-dandy hazmat suits while we wade through another week in news. Beginning with the lunatic leftist insisting that whole milk is a dog whistle for white supremacy, which makes dairy farms the equivalent of Nazi high command. A Minnesota Republican reads passages from a book targeted to children so offensive that the Democrat committee members cut him off mid-sentence. A black woman on Fox News smacked down a scrawny liberal, telling her that minorities are too incompetent to obtain voter ID, and Gavin Newsom panders to minority crowds by telling him he's illiterate while spinning a different yarn for white audiences. You'll hear these stories and more for another edition of The Sound Dump.
I'll take you for a ride. I'm a garbage truck.
It's the Saturday Night Sound Dump on 93 WIBC.
I take you to the dump. I show you the sights, you know you want to ride. I'm a garbage truck.
Welcome back to Saturday Night on the Circle. I'm your host, Ethan Hatcher. That's producer Gavin in the producer's fishbowl. And we begin, producer Gavin, with Representative Maxine Dexter of Oregon speaking before a local school district and encouraging them to reject the white supremacist, racist dog whistle of whole milk.
Please ask for these science-based regimens, not whatever RFK Jr. is getting kickbacks on, or whatever whole milk, white supremacy, dog whistling that's happening right now. I'm getting a little too political, but
I don't want to sound sexist, but women are an absolute disaster and a menace to society.
I swear to God, these people see racism wherever they go. Now, I am a person who enjoys a nice tall glass of whole milk with dinner, but what I'd like her to answer is 2% milk racist? Is skim milk racist? Is soy milk racist? Or is it just the whole milk that's racist? What say you, sir?
I don't know.
I don't think anybody knows.
I'm against racism just as much as the next person. And like, yeah, if you see it, call it out. But I don't get the whole milk the thing. Like, I think it's weird that that whole milk's getting pushed really hard for no reason. But I don't think it's racist.
Well, look, whole milk isn't getting pushed. It's just being reintroduced into the ecosystem because it was Barack Obama who made whole milk a big deal. It was Barack Obama who congressionally banned whole milk from being included in school lunch plans. That's the whole problem here. So we're not inflicting, as it were, whole milk onto anybody that doesn't want to drink it. We're just reincorporating it into the options available for students nationwide, and calling it racist dog whistling is nothing short of ridiculous. And these people, they go to any length necessary to try and demonize Donald Trump. Anything that he does is automatically rejected, whether or not it has any basis in reality to oppose it. And here is the Lieutenant Governor of Minnesota, Peggy Flanagan, engaging in levels of pandering, talking about her native name, which I don't think actually is very flattering to her. If I had friends that gave me a name like this, I'd think they were making fun of me.
My Ojibwe name is Gijiweweda Mokwe, which means speaks in a loud and clear voice woman. I am so grateful for my community. And, you know, I am a member of the White Earth Nation, which is the largest tribe in Minnesota.
It is crazy. We say to give a woman power is like to give a gun to a monkey. We have stopped doing that ever since the 1999 Astana Zoo massacre.
Now, to me, it sounds like they're calling this lady a loudmouth. And if I had any friends that gave me a funny name that essentially translated to loudmouth, I would not be too happy with that. I would assume that they were making fun of me. But yeah, she will go to any length to cosplay, to pander. It wasn't too long ago before she was speaking before a Islamic mosque dressed in full Islamic hijab and garb. So yeah, just more pandering from the left. Speaking of pandering from the left, of course, one issue that's come up repeatedly is the books that they choose to include and make available to especially young children. And I am definitely a fan of freedom of information, but, you know, some materials should probably be kept in the adult section of the library. And if you choose to share those books with your children, that is your parental prerogative, but they shouldn't necessarily be easy for young fingers to get their hands on. And in this case, one of the Minnesota representatives was reading in the financial committee of the Minnesota legislature, a gentleman by the name of Michael Holmstrom, reading from, quote, "This book is gay," a book that was so offensive to read that his Democrat colleagues cut him off mid-sentence.
To that age-appropriate question and to what we want to invest in for our culture, I guess I look at some of the books that we're seeing commonly implemented in our libraries. We see, I actually went this morning and found This Book is Gay from some of our local libraries. Many of the libraries that testified here today do have it in stock on their shelves, recommended in the teen section as young as 12 years old. This book, among other things, it recommends to young children how to flirt in gay bars. It recommends to children how to enter into non-consensual sexual relationships. And I'll read here. Oral sex is popping another dude's peen in your mouth or intending or indeed popping yours and his. There's only one way, hard and fast rule when it comes to blowjobs. Watch the teeth. And then it goes on to say that letting any guy come in your mouth is safe sex.
Okay.
No.
Madam Chair.
Thank you.
Oh, this isn't appropriate for this committee?
We don't need to read items that actually, it's not the things that you're reading that are inappropriate. You got your clippable moment. Maybe we can just move on.
It just seems absurd that this is appropriate for a 12-year-old, but not for the senators in this committee.
Boy, that escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
It jumped up a notch.
It did, didn't it?
I am definitely a believer that no book, however vile, should be banned. However, there is such a thing as age appropriateness, and those materials should probably, especially if you are teaching people how to carouse bars, probably shouldn't be made available readily available, that is, to people who are not yet of even drinking age. Sounds like a recipe for disaster to me. Elsewhere in the country, there was a North Carolina professor who has been fired effective immediately following a rant during class time slamming Trump and Charlie Kirk as both fascist and racist POSs.
That is unfortunate that it's come to this. It is, in my opinion, fascism. It is, in my opinion, a dictator trying to take over a country that is a democracy. And in the country that we supposedly believe in freedom of everything. I mean, it wasn't that the whole stupid Charlie Kirk thing, why people were getting fired is because they, didn't like him, that he was a First Amendment warrior. Isn't that why professors got fired for saying he was a racist piece of shit? Which he was. Did he deserve to die? No. But he was a racist piece of shit. And Turning Point USA is a racist piece of shit organization. I will say it. And they just started a group on this campus. And it's people like them that are coming into these classrooms and recording us, trying to get us fired because they don't agree with us. That's it. That's it. And so I'm not going to talk about this anymore, but if you didn't know that was what was happening, wake up, people. Wake the hell up. This is the end of a democracy that you are seeing firsthand.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
It's not the end of democracy just because the left didn't win the election. Actually, that means democracy is strong, is alive and well in this country. And let's not forget how many individuals that the left has fired or removed or blacklisted for either the crime of wrongthink or certainly during the COVID years for allegedly sharing misinformation that turned out to later be 100% true. They weren't afraid to pull the trigger. So it's not that this guy is upset that people are getting fired. It's upset that his team is getting fired. And it sucks to be him. He effed around and he found out. Also, of course, one of the debates that's been going on regarding the SAVE Act, the Democrats have maintained that women, minorities, too incompetent to get their birth certificate, to show their marriage license, to obtain voter ID, to protect and verify their eligibility to participate in the election. And this slimy little weaselly, limp biscuit kind of weaselly liberal man was before on the Will Cain show on a Fox News panel and was saying the same tired line, got slapped down by one of the black panelists who pushed back on that incredibly racist narrative.
I just think that the reality is that an act like the SAVE Act is very likely more aimed at voter suppression and at keeping key demographics that the Republican Party does not want voting to not show out and vote. I think very often minority demographics.
That's not true.
No. So this is the thing where the suggestion is it's going to keep the black vote down. I've got two black panelists here. Ajwa?
That's not true.
Do you have ID and proof of citizenship?
Yeah, and if I need a copy of my birth certificate, it's just a matter of going online or going up to the department and asking for it and showing my information to get it. I mean, to say that it would negatively affect a minority group because they're somehow not educated enough to get these documents is completely outrageous.
And it was refreshing to hear her speak the plain truth. Democrats suffer from the soft bigotry of low expectations, and you can hear that same phenomenon echoed by Gavin Newsom, who, while he was in front of a black audience, tried to relate to them, pander to them, by saying that he was unintelligent just like them. Yeah, I had low SAT scores, and I'm illiterate. We're the same, you and I. It's a little racist there, Gav.
I'm not trying to impress you.
I'm just trying to impress upon you, I'm like you. I'm no better than you. You know, I'm a 960 SAT guy. And, you know, and I'm not trying to offend anyone, you know, trying to act all there if you got 940. But literally a 960 SAT guy. I cannot, you've never seen me read a speech because I cannot read a speech. Maybe the wrong business to be in.
What an odd thing to say.
And we know that this is racist pandering when his story appears to change from illiterate to connect with a black audience to hyper-literate when he is interacting with white authors and claiming that he blew through their 260-page book in an hour and a half.
You've written a hell of a book, and I don't say that lightly. I went through it in a quick hour and a half, almost 2 hours. And trust me, I don't read very fast, but it reads at an unbelievable pace. It's so well written. And of course, it's so familiar because I felt a little bit adjacent to so much of the subject matter, but it's 18 chapters. It's an impressive piece of work, 263 or so pages.
Hey, you know who lives in this house? A great big phony! That's right, a phony lives here! A big fat phony!
Two things cannot be true at once when they exist in contradiction of one another. You cannot either be so illiterate that you're incapable of reading a speech while simultaneously being so hyper-literate that you can read a 260-page book in an hour and a half. That is Gavin Newsom engaging in some very racist pandering.
Nothing I dislike more than the politician that sits there and lies to you. And we all just sit there rolling our eyes going, give me a break.
Ironic.
Newsflash, Gavin is the politician that sits there and lie to you. Gavin Newsom, governor of California. Stay tuned for more. This is Saturday Night on The Circle.
First it was Hillary, Bill Clinton's next.
93 WIBC.
Former president will be questioned today under oath about the Jeffrey Epstein sex trafficking investigation.
What happens next?
Clinton's appearance could compel the committee to call Trump.
Happens here.
In the latest round of U.S.-Iran talks.
Very seriously entered into the elements of a possible agreement.
Stay in the know.
Another conflict flares up between Pakistan and Afghanistan.
While you're on the go.
Pakistan now considers the conflict open war.
On air, online, and on Alexa.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org. This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
Great Lakes Honda of Fishers is heating things up with red hot deals during Pay What We Pay invoice pricing going on now. Come into Great Lakes Honda and get invoice pricing without the gimmicks, like a new Honda Odyssey EXL for under $42,000 with a finance special of 3.99% APR for 48 months or 4.99% APR for 60 months. So come in out of the cold for red hot prices at Great Lakes Honda of Fishers. Tax not included. In-stock new Hondas only. Not combinable with other offers. All fees and first payment due at signing. Offer ends March 31st. See dealer for details.
Don Fisher for QC Kinetics. I was struggling with chronic knee pain and wasn't encouraged with the options of risky surgery and pain pills. QC Kinetics offered the best option for me, cutting-edge regenerative medicine. Their non-invasive treatment stimulated my body's own biologics so I could be pain-free and get back to doing what I love, playing golf. QC Kinetics has a fantastic success rate, and it's clear to see why so many Hoosiers are happy to tell their story of how they reclaim their lives with the QC Kinetics approach. Ready to live your life pain-free? Go to QCkinetics.com/Indianapolis or call 317-559-PAIN and get a no-obligation consultation. QC Kinetics uses the latest technologies, whether it's stem cell, PRP, plasma, or a number of other advanced therapies. Call QC Kinetics. It'll be the best call you will make. Get back in the game, whatever that is for you. Call 317-559-PAIN.
Gain insight on how to prepare for a secure retirement.
In our younger years, we want as much growth and accumulation as we can muster.
Take advantage of a free discovery call, 877-524-2677, 877-524-2677.
It's important for you to understand what that's going to look like later on.
And tune in to the Absolute Retirement Planning Show with Will Gonzalez, Sundays at 9 a.m., right here on 93 WIBC.
Hey, I'm Mike Slater. My dad passed away at the age of 63. It's out of nowhere.
had a stroke. Super hard, obviously, for the whole family, but my dad had life insurance. This is why I have life insurance for my family, for my wife and 4 kids. And the best place to get life insurance is ethos.com, because you can do it in 10 minutes. And there's no medical exam and no blood test, just a few health questions. Get life insurance in 10 minutes so your family is protected. Ethos, E-T-H-O-S, ethos.com/Mike.
This is Saturday Night on The Circle on 93 WIBC.
Welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen. This is Saturday Night on The Circle, and I'm excited because coming up June 1st of this year, Antiques Roadshow is returning to Indianapolis at Newfields, offering free appraisals of antiques in the area. Of course, in order to get in, you have to apply for a ticket from the PBS sweepstakes. And if you wish to be a part of the producers' appraisals, you have to submit a separate form with a short description, photographs, and information about the items that you wish to hopefully get selected by the producers to be a part of the program. I'm looking forward to this, Producer Gav. I've got a couple antiques lined up that I have already submitted to PBS. We're supposed to be hearing back from Antiques Roadshow sometime in May regarding that. So
I think you got it locked in, big dog.
Hopefully. I got a couple of juicy items. So really looking forward to that. And stay tuned, of course, for more Saturday Night on The Circle coming up in hour 2. Brian Baker and producer Carl joining the show. Don't miss it.
We had downsized. In that downsizing, my husband lost his man cave.
Everyone is talking about Galaxy Concrete Coatings and their transformation, like your neighbor Deb.
My husband and I were at the home show and saw all these vendors with garage floor coatings. The one that stayed with us was Galaxy.
Galaxy Concrete Coatings is 4 times stronger than epoxy.
I'm the only one home, and so it's nice when well-dressed, clean-cut, respectful crew show up. That's what Galaxy sent.
Commercial or residential, Galaxy transforms pools, patios, garage floors, and driveways in as little as 1 day, and it comes with a lifetime warranty.
Warranties are real important for us, and to know that should there be an issue, Galaxy was standing behind us. That's pretty much what tipped us over to go with Galaxy.
Click on GalaxyConcreteCoatings.com and remember to like us on Facebook.
We are so proud to open our garage store.
We're out of this world.
Join us every Friday right around 5:50 for Beer Sample Friday.
Brought to you by Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus, home of free delivery within 75 miles of their store.
Chase away those winter blues with a new car from Tom Roush Lincoln. Hurry in for the 8, 9, 10 deal from Tom Roush. Get $8,000 off new Nautilus or $9,000 off new Corsair. Or how about $10,000 off Lincoln Aviator? Come get a great deal on all 3 from Tom Roush, where our family served yours since 1972.
Corsair stock number L25566, MSRP 55340. Nautilus stock number L26030, MSRP 62705. Aviator stock number L25384, MSRP 79450. See dealer for complete offer details.
The Attorney General's Unclaimed Property Division has over $800 million just waiting to be claimed. Text Tony Katz to 46220 or visit indianaunclaimed.gov to claim yours today.
Hey, John, why so glum? I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the 3rd time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this. Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career. Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. Mycomputercareer.edu, an Elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Hey, I'm Mike Slater. My dad passed away at the age of 63. It's out of nowhere. Had a stroke. Super hard, obviously, for the whole family, but my dad had life insurance. This is why I have life insurance for my family, for my wife and 4 kids. And the best place to get life insurance is ethos.com, because you can do it in 10 minutes. And there's no medical exam and no blood test, just a few health questions. Get life insurance in 10 minutes so your family is protected. Ethos, ETHOS, ethos.com/Mike.
Housing discrimination because of race, color, or national origin is against the law. If you believe you've experienced housing discrimination, contact HUD at hud.gov/fair housing.
From the Dugan Air Heating and Cooling Mitsubishi Electric Studios, this is 93 WIBC HD1 Indianapolis.
My grades were bad. I would get D's and C's.
I appeared to be doing good at my school life, but if you would see me at home, it would have been a completely different story.
I mean, it was just rough focusing on school when your mother is somebody you have to take care of.
It got worse and worse and worse throughout the years.
There are students who need somebody.
They can trust someone, and it could be the first person they've ever trusted in their life.
Communities in Schools is lowering America's dropout rate by helping more than 1.3 million kids every year get whatever they need to succeed in school.
If something was going on at home, we would go just stop by Miss Liberty's office and talk to her.
Communities in Schools vouched for me when everyone else had lost hope.
You can help change the picture of education right here in your community and across the nation. Visit communitiesInschools.org.
I hear people say we can't save every kid, but I think that we can.
Outside the White House, the U.S. Security Council condemning the mission ahead of a meeting today by the Security Council in emergency session. And this week, Congress will debate and could vote on war powers for President Trump. Some say he did not have authority to strike Iran. A federal judge has extended an order protecting refugees in Minnesota who are lawfully in the U.S. and being arrested and deported. The Trump administration asserts that it had the right to arrest refugees who enter the country legally, but who don't yet have green cards. The judge says this policy turns, and I quote, the American dream into a dystopian nightmare. America's listening to Fox News.
In the summer of 1985, Southern California wasn't just hot, it was terrifying. A shadow stalked the suburbs. They called him the Night Stalker.
So far, 6 communities have been the target of the so-called Night Stalker.
Fox Nation Investigates presents Beware the Night Stalker.
Do you admit to being evil, Richard?
We are all evil in some form or another, are we not?
Listen and follow now at foxtruecrime.com or wherever you get your favorite podcasts. Get those W-2s ready. Tax season has arrived. It's the Fox Business Tax Tips. Fox News Radio's Ginny Casola and Hillary Barsky are joined by the hosts of the Fox Business Network to provide you with the latest tips, tricks, and updates on filing your taxes. From deadlines to tax law changes to the latest deductions, we'll cover it all to make sure you keep that hard-earned money where it belongs, in your pocket. Listen and follow the Fox Business Tax Tips at Fox News Podcasts.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Snow might affect your weekend. I'm Jake McDaniel. Here's what's trending this hour. Mike Ryan at the National Weather Service has been looking at possible snow across Indiana.
Initially, a couple of days ago, that looked like it might be a more significant threat of snow, maybe freezing rain, but that has backed off, at least trends have.
He says some spots could still get a couple inches, and he urges you to be on the lookout for rain next week. Indianapolis police say 2 men were arrested after a traffic stop in Chase Thursday. Officers searched the car that Anthony Anderson and Damon Rowe Jr. were in, plus a home connected to their investigation. They found 40 pounds of drugs, among other things. On Friday, the Indiana Department of Natural Resources and the City of Fishers honored the opening of the extension of the Nickel Plate Trail. That included a bridge for pedestrians which connects to Indianapolis. And former Indiana Hoosier quarterback Fernando Mendoza spoke at the NFL Combine on Friday in Indianapolis. Here's John Herrick.
The majority of mock drafts have Mendoza as the #1 overall pick to the Las Vegas Raiders, but he says he's not letting that affect his mindset.
I'm just trying to be the best me possible
grateful. And whatever team drafts me, I'm grateful, whether it's the number 1 pick or whether it's, the 199th pick.
Mendoza says he's had a formal interview with the Raiders where they went over some of his previous plays and had him draw some other plays on a board in front of him. He led the Hoosiers to their first ever football championship in January. John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
On the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com. And now here's the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center with Stephen Deanna.
Going into Sunday, partly cloudy skies to start, mostly cloudy skies to finish. Temperatures a bit cooler with a high near 40 degrees. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
Custom jewelry is not out of reach with PA Jewelers at the Farmhouse. At PA Jewelers, you can customize any piece of jewelry for that special someone. PA Jewelers at the Farmhouse in Brownsburg. Gold, diamonds, gemstones, and of course those watches from Flederman Von Riest, assembled right here in Indiana. Custom designed jewelry with PA Jewelers at the Farmhouse. Custom jewelry made just for you. PA Jewelers, 3750 South Green Street in Brownsburg. 317-456-4010. PA Jewelers.
This month, Pure Talk is honoring Jackson and Lincoln by offering unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data for just $25 a month. Meanwhile, Big Wireless is honoring Ben Franklin by charging families hundreds of dollars for the same 5G coverage. What? Franklin wasn't even a president. Hang on to those Benjamins. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and save 50% off your first month. That's pound 250, Mike Rowe, to switch to an American wireless company that's truly unprecedented. Pure Talk.
Show your home some love with Zero Res. 3 rooms of cleaning starting at $119 plus $75 off air duct cleaning. Book now at ZeroResIndy.com.
Through their service, veterans have our backs. Now we should have theirs. Learn more at GotYour6.org.
Listening to Saturday Night on the Circle on 93 WIBC.
Welcome back to Saturday Night on the Circle. I'm your bespectacled curmudgeon, Ethan Hatcher, and that's producer Gavin in the producer's fishbowl, pushing the buttons and doing the things to make the show function. We start this hour with a discussion on amendments that were being offered to House Bill 1200 this year regarding the Bureau of Motor Vehicles that would require applicants who seek to drive on Indianapolis and Indiana roadways to be able to speak the language of English before their driver's permit or commercial driver's license can be issued. Considering that we've now had several fatalities this month caused by foreigners, illegal aliens who were able to obtain commercials driver's licenses from other states, including Minnesota, including Pennsylvania, and then drive on our roadways and be issued commercial driver's licenses, resulting in fatality of Hoosiers. I say that this is a fairly prudent alteration, one that was being offered by Senator Aaron Freeman. And you can listen how unserious the opposition to this very common sense regulation is when Greg Taylor is bickering with the senator about whether or not road signs are written in English, about whether or not that this should be a change made to our laws.
I only got one question about one part of your amendment. Why does it have to be in English?
Well, Senator Taylor, last I was on Interstate 465 today, our signs are in English.
Okay.
So I think somebody probably needs to know what English looks like and knows what it says in order to, I don't know, comply with our traffic laws.
All right. I'm glad you said that. But when you took the driver's exam, did you take the sign portion of it?
I did.
So our signs are in different shapes so that you can know what a stop, a red, and do they have colors on them?
Yeah, and stop and yield and all right away, and they say all kinds of things.
So
like
you're
in English.
You're saying, are all our signs in English?
Yes.
Are you sure about that?
Well, like I said, I haven't been on 465 in, 7 hours. It could have changed, but the last time I checked, everything was in English.
Well, I'm just asking why. So then you should have to take the exam in English, right?
I did.
That's what I'm saying that's what you're saying in your legislation, in your amendment.
Correct.
Okay, so if I'm here and I'm a newly registered citizen, or I just passed my citizenship, and I want to take the exam, do I have to know English?
Yes.
Is it required that you know English?
Well, if you want to pass the exam, I think you probably get to know English pretty quick.
Boom. Roasted.
Look, it's extremely prudent for people who drive on our roadways to be able to read and understand our road signs in order to operate their vehicles safely. This isn't targeting any race or any ethnicity. It's just common sense. If I tried to drive in a foreign language or a foreign country where I couldn't speak the language, I wouldn't be able to read the road signs, wouldn't be able to understand orders when given to me, wouldn't be able to interface effectively with law enforcement if I were pulled over. I mean, this is common sense, but the Democrats seemingly are allergic to common sense. And if you need a reason, if you need evidence in action of why this is a prudent and necessary change, we just had yet another example in the state of Missouri where a driver caught on camera a operator of a semi-truck with a valid CDL that was given to him by the state of Minnesota was driving in the wrong direction over 50 miles per hour on a multi-lane highway, potentially endangering, though fortunately not resulting in any fatalities, the lives of other drivers on the road.
And instead of pulling over once they saw cars flying right at them, the witness says the semi sped up and was hitting 50 miles per hour, going the wrong way for nearly 3 miles. Miraculously, they didn't hit anyone, and Missouri Highway Patrol eventually pulled over that driver who had a legal commercial driver's license from Minnesota. But Highway Patrol says during that stop, our commercial vehicle enforcement troopers conducted a driver inspection and determined the driver could not properly identify road signs. As mandated by federal motor carrier regulations, per federal motor carrier guidelines, he was placed out of service and not allowed to continue driving. Here's what we know about this particular trucking business. Cargo Transportation LLC is run out of an apartment in Hopkins, Minnesota, just outside Minneapolis. It was registered in 2023 to an Abdulwali Ahmed and only has 2 drivers, one of whom presumably can't read road signs.
I am shocked. Shocked. Well, not that shocked.
So if the federal government isn't going to step up and stem the tide of these commercial driver's licenses being given out like candy to people who can't speak the language, then it's the responsibility of states like Indiana to step up and take the action themselves. And if you want to report potential abuses of CDLs, you can do so through a new hotline and reporting system that was initiated by Jim Banks, Senator Jim Banks, as reported by Terre Haute reporter Ben Verbanek.
In just the last 3 weeks, 5 people in Indiana have been struck and killed by semi-trucks driven by people who are believed to be in the United States illegally. U.S. Senator Jim Banks has created the Truck Safety Tip Line, an online portal for truckers to report carriers who might be hiring people with fraudulent CDLs. Launched just weeks ago, the tip line forwards reports directly to the U.S. Department of Transportation for review. This tip line was created after a driver of a semi-truck caused a multi-vehicle crash that left 4 dead in Jay County. Indiana State Police confirmed the driver of that semi was arrested by U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. The suspected driver of that semi was granted a CDL by the state government of Pennsylvania.
Indiana's the crossroads of America, so you have semi-trucks crossing through highways in Indiana every single day, and now more and more of these semi-trucks are being driven by illegals.
To make a tip, simply go to banks.senate.gov and select the Truck Safety Tip Line option from the top menu. Banks says this information will be used to help penalize not just the fraudulent drivers, but the schools and states providing these bogus CDLs as well.
I've been working with the Department of Transportation Secretary Duffy to figure out how do we go in and crack down on these schools that give fake certificates to illegals, and then they use that to get a CDL, crack down on the states that are giving CDLs to illegals.
Senator Banks tells me he will remain outspoken on this issue and that he appreciates the efforts of the Indiana State House for taking it seriously.
This will begin to make things right.
And good on Jim Banks for opening up a hotline so we can report these abuses that endanger the lives of Hoosiers across the state. Thanks for listening to 93 WIBC. Stay tuned. Friend of the show, Brian Baker, is coming up next.
As America celebrates 250 years, WIBC takes you inside the moments that built a nation.
The Spirit of 76. A 1-minute look at this day in the Revolution. The battles, debates, and turning points that transformed a collection of colonies into these United States.
Weekday mornings at 7:35 and 11:35, and afternoons at 3:35 and 6:35, or anytime on demand at WIBC.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
Star Wars Night is coming to Gainbridge Fieldhouse. The Pacers face the Memphis Grizzlies Sunday at 5.
10 seconds to shoot. Quentin Jackson comes busting down the middle and lays it in.
Pacers Star Wars tea and a food voucher are included with each promo ticket.
Potter juggles it, feeds it to the far sideline, and that's a 3-ball for Nembhard.
Grab your promo tickets at Pacers.com/Star Wars while they last.
Nembhard scores from the dotted half circle. That should about do it.
Pacers Grizzlies, Sunday at 5.
And may the Force be with you.
What if you could have the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years? That's the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. 5 years of Wi-Fi that boosts speeds to the devices that need them most, that finds and fixes problems before you even notice them, like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a 6th sense, and that keeps you gaming in the fast lane, even when the whole family is banking on bandwidth. All your devices working in perfect harmony for 5 whole years. And here's the best part. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and our best equipment included.
Plus, get online in no time with same-day Wi-Fi.
Hey, let's face it, a lot can change in 5 years. Kids grow taller, dreams grow bigger, but your Wi-Fi, it would stay reliable and the price would stay put. The Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Xfinity, imagine that.
Select plans only. Restrictions apply. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA Fixed Broadband Experience Report, May 2025. Actual speeds vary. Xfinity Internet powered by fiber and connected to the premises by coaxial cable.
It's Terry Stacy, and thousands of people start the year with good intentions of losing weight and getting in shape by spring. For over 22 years, Exercise Inc. has helped Hoosiers build muscle and lose weight and transform their health, which means creating lifelong habits rather than a resolution most of us don't keep. Exercise Inc. works, and the best part about it, it only takes 20 minutes once a week. Their unique training method was developed in an osteoporosis research study to help prevent bone mineral loss in older women. The women in the study got very strong in a short amount of time. When the method is applied to normal, healthy adults, both men and women get a lot stronger. Their Simple 9 nutritional program has helped their clients lose over 40,000 pounds since 2013. They've also seen their clients lower blood pressure, improve blood sugar, and get off prescription meds. Get started right now. Avon, Brownsburg, Fishers, Greenwood, and Zionsville. Change your life in 20 minutes once a week. Go to exerciseinc.com to request a free consultation.
Hey, I'm Mike Slater. My dad passed away at the age of 63. It's out of nowhere. Had a stroke. Super hard, obviously, for the whole family, but my dad had life insurance. This is why I have life insurance for my family, for my wife and 4 kids. And the best place to get life insurance is ethos.com, because you can do it in 10 minutes. And there's no medical exam and no blood test, just a few health questions. Get life insurance in 10 minutes so your family is protected. Ethos, ETHOS, ethos.com/Mike.
When I was younger, I may have did some stupid things, even committed some crimes, but I'm not a criminal.
I work for youth advocate programs. Yeah, I was Tamani's advocate, helping him stay out of jail, stay in the neighborhood, and get a job.
As a little kid, I experienced trauma and I acted out. Made some mistakes, but I'm not a mistake.
As Jalen's YAP advocate, I'm always here for her.
YAP is a community-based alternative to youth incarceration and neighborhood violence. Youth advocate programs. Learn how at yapinc.org.
90% of suicide attempts involving a gun are fatal. Be a responsible gun owner. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide. Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council. Indy Humane. Find your new best friend today. Visit indyhumane.org.
No Kid Hungry is providing healthy meals and hope to hungry kids so they can build better futures. Learn more at helpnokidhungry.org.
Well, pick up your feet. We got a deadline to meet. I'm gonna see you make it on time. Now, don't relax. I want elbows and backs. I want to see everybody from behind.
You're listening to Saturday Night on the Circle on 93 WIBC.
Working for the man.
Welcome back to Saturday Night on the Circle, where I'm your bohemian codger, Ethan Hatcher, and my podcasts are uploaded to WIBC.com, plus my personal podcasting page, Saturday Night on the Circle.fireside.fm, and you can always hop in the YouTube chat live from 7 to 9 every Saturday night. Last week, the Supreme Court struck down Trump's tariffs, triggering a potentially massive refund from the federal government of $134 billion and counting. Some analysts indicate this will increase the stability of the economy, but will it translate to lower prices for consumers? And what might this action reveal about corporate profit strategy following their implementation? Will anything actually change, especially after Trump said this ruling accidentally and unwittingly gave him more authority to negotiate unilateral trade deals? Welcoming to the show is one man with a front row seat to the economic fallout, with his finger on the pulse of profit-mongering corporations feeling hot under the collar. He's worked extensively in both entertainment and finance. It's the multi-talented Brian Baker joining the program. Good to see you again, my friend.
Thank you, man. Thanks for having me on. I'm on a good run here. This is like 2 appearances in a couple of months here. I'm feeling like I'm a regular.
Yeah, well, I mean, I told you I wanted to have you more on the program, especially because you're so insightful when it comes to these financial issues, entertainment stuff. Plus, you're an interesting guy all around. So, yeah, definitely wanted to have you around more often.
And by the way, I appreciate that. But I want to tell you posed a great question here at the beginning of the segment, which is, will the Supreme Court ruling ultimately translate to lower prices for consumers? No, not happening.
Well, because the corporations are spoiled, right? The expectation is, well, if you've already been able to pay the prices that we've put out there, then you can continue to sustain those prices. It doesn't matter, whether or not you're having to tighten the belt in other areas. They don't care about your personal life. All they care about is the bottom line for shareholders. And if you can sustain the higher prices, then that's what they go with. That's my impression anyway.
Well, yeah, that's just it, Ethan. The market becomes conditioned to paying these higher prices. And so even if costs drop on the supply side and the manufacturing side, none of that really trickles down to consumers. And there has been an awful lot. There's always this argument on the left that inflation is only caused by greedy corporations, which of course is not the truth. It's caused by government printing money, government overspending. But I have really noticed here in the last couple of years, as I go to my big thing, my one real bad habit is I go and drink a lot of Diet Coke throughout the day, and so I'll regularly go to McDonald's and I'll get myself a soda. And soda there used to be like $1 a few years ago.
I remember it well. You could get any size for $1. It was a godsend. That and $1 McChicken. Unfortunately, those days are in the rearview mirror.
Yeah, I was in Charleston, South Carolina, and I've stopped at a McDonald's. $3.13 for a large soda. Now, you cannot tell me that the cost of just sugary syrup, this brown gunk, has gone up that much.
No.
The Coca-Cola company's hard costs have gone up that much. It's just they've gotten used to making these. Well, they've been able to do it under the guise of inflation and tariffs, and so yeah, the market's conditioned, and that's your new cost of living. So,
well, they're
yeah,
probably trying to shift the prices and recuperate some losses with the sugar soda water because, yeah, of course, sugar water doesn't cost $3 for the syrup. That's ridiculous. But beef prices have especially skyrocketed under the tariffs, and McDonald's has found themselves kind of hard pressed to continue offering the hamburgers at an affordable price. So they might be cutting the profit margin on the hamburgers and increasing the profit margin on the sodas, just so that way everything balances out at the end of the day.
No, don't you defend them. I like my take much better.
You actually had an interesting take, though, on how the elimination of these tariffs might open up some legal liability for corporations who may not have been entirely honest about their price increases relating to the tariffs. So can you explain that to our audience? Because I thought it was a fascinating thesis when you emailed this to me.
Yeah, this is delicious. I can't wait to see this play out. I'm trying to think of an easy way to explain this and what's been going on. But let's say you are a manufacturer. I don't know. You make lighting equipment. You make televisions, or you make machinery. That's where I've seen it up close and personal. And let's say you manufacture here in the U.S., or you at least assemble whatever it is that you're selling to then pass on to a business, and then they sell it at a retail level. And that piece of machinery, or that component, whatever it is that you're selling, let's say it's made up of 10 different pieces, right? So the machine, let's say it's made up of 10 different parts. I'm just picking an arbitrary number. And maybe 2 or 3 of those parts are coming from overseas. You're sourcing it from China, or you're sourcing it from Germany, or some other market. Well, what manufacturers have been doing here in the U.S. when they sell these products is not placing the tariff just on the components that they're bringing in from other markets. Even the stuff that they're sourcing within the U.S. borders, they're placing that tariff on. So they're putting the tariff on the entire cost that they're then passing along to the next buyer, whether that be, well, for example, if you're producing lighting components, then maybe you're like the main supplier, and then you sell to Home Depot or Lowe's. If you make machines, then you might just be selling it to an end user who's like an OEM, and they make auto parts for manufacturers. So it's a component or a machine, rather, that they use in their manufacturing process, right? Okay, so let's say now that the Supreme Court comes along and they say, all right, we're going to declare these tariffs unconstitutional, which they did, and now these companies that have gotten used to making these additional profits, they're just basically padding their bottom line with these tariffs, artificially inflating those costs, and then passing it along to the company or the individuals that they're selling to. Well, let's say that they actually get hit now with a demand. Let's say that the Supreme Court says all of these tariffs have to be repaid. Well, now the money that the companies are getting back from the U.S. government is not equal to what they actually owe the end users. So there's this huge gap between what they can actually afford to reimburse the end users that they sold to and what they're receiving back from the government, which is going to take a hit on their bottom line, their corporate line. Did I make any sense with that, or have I completely spun this out of control? I feel like I've done a terrible job here, Ethan.
I think you're speaking still at a pretty high level, but we can break this down in a very easy to understand way. You were talking about lighting corporation, so let's just use the average household LED light bulb as an example, and let us assume that this product costs $1 for one LED light bulb total at the retail value. Now, that may or may not be reflective in the market. I'm just using round figures so we can do this off the top of our heads here, because I am not very good at math. That's why I'm in radio, but I can work with round numbers. And you're saying that they have translated the tariff cost to the total price of the item. So if the total cost was $1 and the tariff cost is 20%, then they're charging now $1.20 for the total cost of the item at retail. But the tariffs are only applied to individual components of the item if they're made overseas. So let's assume that the plastic dome of the LED light bulb, that's made at home, or the screw-in base of the light bulb, that comes from manufacturers here. But the little microchip, the driver of the LED, that is shipped from overseas in China. And let us assume that this microchip maybe cost 10 cents on the total manufacturer cost. Again, we're just using round numbers here. So the tariff cost would be 2 cents added to the overall cost of the item for manufacture, but they're charging an additional 20 cents because they are applying that to all of the items in the widget, and then passing that added cost onto you, regardless of how much of it actually came from additional tariffs. Does that break it down in an understandable way?
That is a much clearer way of doing it. Your brain organizes much better than mine does, Ethan.
So what you're saying then is that although the federal government may be refunding 2 cents that was added cost into the manufacturer, these retailers still have an additional 18 cents that they are profit mongering off of the back of you using the tariffs as an excuse. So this might open up the corporations to some level of liability. Can you explain that?
Yeah, it could, and really, realistically, if you are a consumer and you're buying, then your odds of getting any kind of a refund are pretty much zilch. I mean, that would be impossible to try and figure out. But if it's just business to business, that's a little bit easier to figure out, because if you're the supplier of the widget and you sell to the company that then sells those widgets to the public, well, if you're just a supplier, then the company that you're selling to can come back and say, all right, well, you all got a refund. We want reimbursement for the additional tariff costs that we've had to pay. And yeah, there's going to be there's a negative there. What they're going to have to repay because they padded the bottom line is not going to be equal to what they've gotten back from the U.S. government. So yeah, I think it's a liability issue. I think more importantly for shareholders, it's going to mean a major hit to profits as well. So it would show up on the bottom line. Now, whether this actually goes through, whether the Supreme Court rules that these tariffs have to be repaid or not, I don't know. But if it does go that way, It's going to be extremely interesting watching it unfold.
I mean, it seems like the consumer is just getting double screwed because we've been bearing the burden of increased costs that may not be wholly legitimate. So they've already been dipping their hands in our pockets the first time, and they may now be entitled to a refund of the tariff money because of the Supreme Court. So they get the refund money that's sent to the corporations and the added benefit of the additional costs that they put onto our shoulders. So it sounds like they're just double dipping, and the corporations win once again, while it's the consumer who's ultimately getting screwed. Is that about right, Brian?
Yeah, you summed it up perfectly, Ethan. That's exactly what's happening. And, listen, the thing is, I brought this up to someone I work in business with, and we were talking about it over lunch. And he said, yeah, but Trump came back after the Supreme Court ruling, and he just levied new tariffs. That's true, but those aren't retroactive. So everything up to the point that Trump's latest round of tariffs, everything prior to that has been ruled unconstitutional and therefore would, in theory, have to be repaid. Again, I don't know whether this actually plays out or not. It's probably going to be wrapped up in lawsuits for years.
Wonderful. And at the end of the day, it's the little guy who's always getting screwed. Why is it whenever I have you on the program, we very rarely have good news to share? It's always bad news. That's the business we peddle in, I suppose.
I suppose so, yeah. Well, when it comes to the economy right now, there's not a whole lot to be excited about or, I don't know, I guess feeling cheerful about.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's always the case. But we will continue to provide you updates right here on Saturday night on The Circle, 93 WIBC. Thanks for joining the show, my friend.
Thank you, Ethan.
And stay tuned for another edition of Carl's Conspiracy Corner, heading your way up next.
Tony Katz.
Be very wary of where you send your kids to high school and very wary of where you send your kids to college, especially your daughters. They're more susceptible to this outrage farming. They just are. The data is clear. And guys who don't find conservatives reaching out to them and saying to them, you're not crazy, they end up playing in Groyperville. That beta male cuck anti-Semite freak has nothing to offer you.
Tony Katz, mornings 6 to 9 on 93 WIBC and WIBC.com.
If you've recently noticed cracks in concrete or brick, musty smells, or moisture coming from your crawl space, now is the time to address these warning signs before it's too late. These early signs often point to deeper issues that will only become more expensive the longer they remain untreated. Indiana Foundation Service is here to make the repair process simple, transparent, and manageable. No two homes are the same, and every single home needs a customized solution. That's why Indiana Foundation Service's certified experts take the time to evaluate your home fully and recommend the correct repair for your exact situation. The people repairing your home are not just employees, they're owners of Indiana Foundation Service. That ownership drives employees to deliver work done right every single time. Visit IndianaFoundation.com today to schedule your free inspection. Indiana Foundation Service, your trusted local experts in foundation repair.
Indiana Foundation Service, reliability from the ground up.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu, an Elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Chase away those winter blues with a new car from Tom Roush Lincoln. Hurry in for the 8, 9, 10 deal from Tom Roush. Get $8,000 off new Nautilus or $9,000 off new Corsair. Or how about $10,000 off Lincoln Aviator? Come get a great deal on all three from Tom Roush, where our family served yours since 1972.
Corsair stock number L25566, MSRP 55340. Nautilus stock number L26030, MSRP 62705. Aviator stock number L25384, MSRP 79450. See dealer for complete offer details.
Fox News, I'm Gianna Gelosi. President Trump speaking with Minnesota leaders to try to put an end to the unrest in the state, deploying his border czar Tom Homan to lead ICE operations.
He will be reporting directly to the president. Border Patrol Commander Gregory Bavino had been acting as the Border Patrol lead here, even hosting daily press conferences, really the face of the operation here. But Bavino is now returning to be sector chief in El Centro, California, and other Border Patrol agents are leaving as well.
Fox's Matt Finn, at least 34 people dead after that massive winter storm. It's still bringing bone-chilling temperatures nationwide. Fox Weather's Melanie Black in Boston, where almost 2 feet of snow fell.
And that snow is not going anywhere anytime soon. Our Fox Weather Forecast Center is calling for high temperatures in the 20s and overnight lows in the single digits this week.
America's listening to Fox News.
When I grow up, what should I be? A chef? A sprinkle of this? A dash of that? I'd probably eat more than I'd cook. I could be a ballet dancer. I'm not exactly graceful. I've got 2 left feet. Literally. Or what about an astronaut? Wow. Tempting, but a little far from home. Maybe I'm meant to help in a different way. Or maybe I'm destined to give someone hope.
At Dogs Inc., our puppies grow up to change lives as guide dogs, service dogs, and skilled companion dogs, trained with love, provided at no cost, and made possible through hope.
Now that's a perfect fit.
Learn more at dogsinc.org.
After my injury, I lost my sense of purpose.
I lost my peace of mind.
My independence.
I lost the ability to tuck my daughters into bed.
My sense of safety.
These veterans are just a few of the men and women we serve at Homes for Our Troops. For nearly 1,800 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers. We build specially adapted homes with features like wheelchair access, roll-in showers, and pull-down cabinets that allow them to live independently and focus on their recovery and family. This life-changing gift of freedom is provided mortgage-free, thanks to donors and supporters.
Homes for Our Troops gave me stability.
Financial freedom to grow our family.
A mental reset. A home where I can be a dad.
Homes for Our Troops gave me a brighter future.
We need you to join us in completing our important mission. Donate today at hfotusa.org.
There's something happening here, but what it is ain't exactly clear. There's a man with a gun over there.
You're listening to Saturday Night on the Circle on 93 WIPC.
I think it's time we stop. Children, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down.
Welcome back to Saturday Night on the Circle, where I'm your bohemian codger, Ethan Hatcher, and the podcasts are always uploaded to WIBC.com, plus Saturday Night on the Circle.fireside.fm, and we're streaming live 7 to 9 every Saturday night on the YouTube machine, so hop in the chat and join the fun. Following a flurry of kinetic strikes against Iran, resulting in massive fatalities for their leadership structure, it's abundantly clear that this administration will unleash enormous ferocity towards foreign adversaries when needed. But where's that same ferocity towards domestic threats in the form of the political left, who has repeatedly been willing to engage in street violence to achieve their goals? Is the president truly putting America first, or is he allowing the United States to become a pawn of foreign interests seeking to manipulate American military engagement for their own benefit? Scrutinizing every action of government in a quest to expose the globalist puppet masters pulling the strings is the ever-tireless producer Carl, who joins us for another edition of Carl's Conspiracy Corner.
You're listening to Carl's Conspiracy Corner. The truth is out there.
Have you ever seen a commie drink a glass of water?
Well, yeah, I can't say I have.
The views expressed by Conspiracy Carl are those of Carl and Carl alone. They are not the views of his station or its distributors. I mean, obviously.
Deep beneath the streets of Indianapolis, in an undisclosed broadcasting bunker, we're once again joined by producer Carl, who I take it was a little bit taken aback by the military strikes that were announced this morning. I know I woke up and was surprised to see Iran on fire, military targets being bombed, and lots of stuff going on in the Middle East. What's going on, Carl?
Well, you know what? I wasn't really surprised. It just was
kind of weird to see it actually happening right now because I expected a few more days. But what we've noticed with Donald Trump is he tends to give a deadline, and he tends to strike faster than the deadline is hit.
Shoot first,
there's a lot of
later.
Yeah, there's a lot of unknowns here, except what we do know is that the defense industry stocks are going to go way up on Monday because there's nothing more profitable than war.
Well, we spend millions of dollars on these missiles, and it seems more often than not that the United States is goaded into these military engagements, but it's not for our own benefit. It's for the benefit of foreign interests. In this case, potentially Israel, who is also engaging militarily with Iran, aiding the United States in these military strikes. But is this action putting America first, do you think?
Well, you know what? It could be argued either way. I know that the woke right likes to talk about Israel a lot, and I just wanted to point out that if you actually just Google how much money the United States spends on Israel on an annual basis, it's about $3.8 billion, which most of it goes to defense contractors. And guess who the defense contractors are? They're American defense contractors right in our backyard. So the money's going back to us. What's rarely mentioned, and it was discussed during not this government shutdown, but the last government shutdown, was that there's $100 billion spent annually on SNAP benefits. Those are food stamps. $100 billion. So think about $100 billion versus the $3.8 billion. And yet the left is always constantly talking about, well, you know, Israel runs the United States. You know what I think is far more powerful is that $100 billion, and that's on food stamps. That's not including all the other welfare programs that are out there. There's nothing more profitable than the welfare industrial complex. And so this is where I get back to the question of Trump. Where is the ferocity against the enemies within that are really dictating the terms of America's survival? I mean, election after election, we are told that this is the most important election ever. Now, a cynic would say, well, see, they've always been saying it. But I truly believe that if a few more elections go the Democrats' way, it's over. Look what happened to California. California used to reliably elect Republicans, and now they don't anymore. Once the Democrats get their fangs into the system and make it so it's impossible to defeat them, it's over.
Well,
it's completely over.
A perfect example of that would be Minnesota, which for many years was, firmly a part of the Midwest, which has always trended towards Republican-leaning districts. But then they've turned into a deep, dark blue because they have invited a never-ending influx of Somalian and other immigrants into their system. Democrats have become entrenched, and now they are a flaming liberal state that has engaged in billions of dollars of fraudulent transactions. And they're not alone in that. They're far from alone in that.
I know it might be a bad analogy, but you saw that video of the Somali truck driver driving the wrong way, right?
Yeah, in Missouri, driving the wrong way, and he was licensed where? Out of Minnesota.
Yeah, and so these are like suicidal bombers, right, in their trucks. I mean, if you get hit by a truck head on, you're dead. And where is the same tenacity by the Trump administration? I know he said this in the State of the Union. Do you have the audio, Ethan?
Yeah, I have that audio lined up. Talking about the Somalian pirates?
Yes, please play it.
The Somali pirates who ransacked Minnesota remind us that there are large parts of the world where bribery, corruption, and lawlessness are the norm, not the exception. Importing these cultures through unrestricted immigration and open borders brings those problems right here to the USA. And it is the American people who pay the price in higher medical bills, car insurance rates, rent, taxes, and perhaps most importantly, crime. We will take care of this problem. We're going to take care of this problem. We are not playing games.
It's kind of like that movie with Tom Hanks. Instead of, I am the captain now, I am the truck driver now. I am the truck driver.
So to Americans, who presents a bigger threat to you? The illegal immigrant who's driving the truck, the illegal immigrant who really doesn't have a legal way to work, so they're going to go into the life of crime and kill you, or the Iranian ICBM coming your way? What's the higher chance of happening?
I would say probably getting struck on our streets here at home. And that's why this military action strikes me as Donald Trump being goaded into this to the benefit of our foreign allies, to the benefit of foreign nations rather than our own. We're not protecting American lives. Even Donald Trump announced that we may be putting service members' lives in danger to facilitate these attacks on Iran. And we were already told that we were done after the first bombing, that we had decimated their nuclear capabilities for decades to come. But here we are, less than a year later, and we're back to it once again. This is a never-ending cycle.
Yes, exactly. Because in the best of circumstances, let's talk about the best of circumstances. The head of the snake is cut off. You still have the elements of the nuts out there that are still going to be blowing things up. It's not going to be a stable country. So what are we to do? Just allow it to happen? I suspect that Donald Trump has learned the lessons of the Iraq War and is not going to occupy the country. But guess what? It becomes a refugee nightmare where millions and millions of Iranians will be coming out of the country. And guess what the leftists are going to do? They're going to invite them here into this country where they're going to become sleeper cells, which brings me to the next point. You know that there are sleeper cells in this country, and I fear that, God forbid, something's going to happen as a result of this attack. And it's all because we had this open border policy, and yet just with what happened in Minnesota, it seems like as soon as you get criticism by the left, the Trump administration backs down. I mean, he is total, like, tenacious when it comes to foreign policy. But to Democrats, he always backs down. Like, where are the arrests? Where are the prosecutions? Yes, Senator Banks is pushing forward a bill to ban the issuing of CDL licenses to illegal aliens. But it's almost like ridiculous. We're banning something to go to people that aren't supposed to be there. Where's the enforcement mechanism? Guess what? If Minnesota continues, if California continues to issue driver's licenses to illegal aliens, what exactly is the Trump administration going to do? Nothing. They're going to do nothing.
Well, so far, it's all been threats from Secretary Sean Duffy to threaten and compel the states into compliance with the federal plan not to continue issuing these licenses, illegal immigrants, commercials, driver's licenses. But it's not just a wild conspiracy theory that potential sleeper cells may exist in the United States. We saw this play out after the Biden administration imported thousands of Afghanistan refugees following the fall of Afghanistan and the withdrawal of American military engagement. And then those same refugees proceeded to attract National Guard troops in Washington, D.C.
That's right.
In a fairly prominent fatality here in the Trump administration. So it's already happened. There's no reason to believe that it couldn't happen again.
Yeah, and this brings me back to a point that you've been saying since the 2020 fraud election. You asked the question to your audience, well, if the 2020 election was rigged, why would Donald Trump even try again? Because it's a rigged system, right? So the question is, well, then how did he win in 2024? And I can tell you exactly why he won in 2024. There was no way that anyone would believe that Kamala Harris beat Donald Trump, considering everything that happened preceding that election. So what did the left and the deep state know? Let him get into power. We're going to stop everything. So if Sean Duffy, if anybody in the administration tries to stop the issuance of a illegal alien CDL driver's license, there's going to be some judge that says, no, you have to continue allowing it to happen. The deep state is firmly in control. So I fear that we might have a repeat of Iraq, where there's not going to be anything positive out of it, but we're certainly going to get a lot more refugees from that country.
Sure. I think that's the takeaway. There are many parallels between what had played out in Iraq and what could potentially play out following this engagement in Iran. And at the end of the day, it's the American people who lose in this engagement.
And paying the bill.
Thanks for coming on the show, Producer Carl.
Thank you so much, Ethan. Have a wonderful Saturday night.
Stay tuned to 93 WIBC. We'll be wrapping things up coming up next.
When traffic's a bear, Matt Bear is a beast.
On the north side, 465 East is a parking lot for Meridian. Also, we have slow traffic from 82nd Street all the way up to 860.
When you need to get from here.
If you're coming in from Hamilton County, it's going to be tough.
To there.
Bad news is 70 West is stopped near the Cloverdale exit.
Matt Bear, mornings and afternoons.
Good news is, Tony, they're going to get to listen to your entire show this morning.
93 WIPC.
Every act of change begins with a neighbor. When neighbors connect through the Feeding America network, small actions ripple into lasting impact. Feeding America, led by neighbors. Take action to end hunger now at feedingamerica.org.
If you owe back taxes, listen carefully to rule number 1. Never go up against the IRS alone. They're cracking down, freezing bank accounts, garnishing paychecks, canceling passports. Even your home or business could be at risk. But here's what they don't tell you. The IRS has powerful tax relief programs that could save you thousands if you qualify. That's why smart people call Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax resolution firm. Nobody knows these programs like the experts at Optima. Their team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $2 billion in tax debt for people just like you. The IRS is not stopping, so don't wait and don't take them on alone. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, call Optima today for a free consultation.
Call 800-598-4799. 800-598-4799. 800-598-4799. Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Many of our most important memories are made at school. But for children like Victoria, the classroom can be a place of fear and isolation. She wore a bandage over her cleft every day. Too shy to speak, too afraid to smile. Everything changed after one life-transforming surgery made possible by Smile Train. Today, Victoria's smile lights up her classroom, a symbol of confidence, connection, and new beginnings. Due to stigma, children with untreated clefts often miss out on school entirely. But thanks to Smile Train, students like Victoria are stepping into the classroom, raising their hands, and finding their voice. Smile Train partners with local experts to support with free cleft surgeries and other comprehensive care, empowering children to thrive in school and in life. Let's help every child walk into the classroom with confidence. Visit smiletrain.org/learn.
Airplay Live is coming your way May 15th, featuring Julie Haggerty and Robert Hayes. Relive the comedy classic like never before with stories, laughs, and unforgettable moments. Don't miss Airplane Live. More ticket information now at WIBC.com.
You're listening to Saturday Night on the Circle on 93 WIPC.
Welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen. This is Saturday Night on the Circle, wrapping things up to a close this evening. And I wanted to talk about the surprise announcement from the creators of Smiling Friends that they are ending the series after its 3rd season. I think whether or not you're aware of Smiling Friends or have even seen an episode, this is an interesting conversation because of how rare it is for people in our society to turn down piles of money, which is essentially what these creators have chosen to do. Smiling Friends was first introduced, I think, in 2022. It then took a couple of more years for a 2nd season to be introduced. It's hilariously funny. It's extremely innovative. It uses a combination of traditional, computer-generated, stop-motion, digital, photographic animation, and it all throws them together in this fantastic stew of like short, maybe 10 to 12-minute little episodes. Producer Gavin, have you seen The Smiling Friends?
I'm a huge fan of Smiling Friends.
It's great. How did you feel about the announcement from Michael and Zach that they're bringing it to a close?
I'm still very sad about it. It was very sudden because right before the last season came out, actually, they said like 4 and 5 are happening. They're like, it's happening. And I was, everyone was super excited. And then this came out of nowhere.
Yeah, they made the announcement just the other day.
Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing?
Hello, everybody.
Hello, Zach.
And hello, Michael. Well, we said hello to the world. We said hello to each other. We should probably get into the real meat and potatoes of why we're here, which is, and I'm going to cut right to the chase. This is not a bit. This is not a joke. Michael and I are here to announce that Smiling Friends will be ending after season 3 is done.
Yes. And we know that's super disappointing to hear.
Well, I think people's first question might be, why? What's the reason?
Yes, that's it. We should explain why. And to be perfectly honest, after we finished season 3, Zach and I just both had the same feeling where we feel pretty burnt out after putting years and years into this, but also pretty accomplished. Like, we just came to this feeling where we're like, I think that could just be it after season 3. And yeah, we both felt like it was right.
I mean, even from the very, very beginning of the show, we always said, oh man, how great would it be to, like, you know, really try to make this show as good as it could be and really put 100%, 110% into it, and then go out what feels like on top, what feels like leave them wanting more, rather than people going, oh, that show is still in the air, oh god. That just feels like, and you know, like you said, we were really, after several years of really, really grinding on this show nonstop without any breaks, 24/7, we got to a point where we just felt like that's a good spot to end it, and we wouldn't want to be doing more seasons with like half-hearted, like with half, you know, or burnt out or not feeling it, and that's not fair to us. It's not fair to the audience to give you guys slop. That's not really, that sucks.
Yeah, exactly.
That'll do, pig. That'll do.
I totally get their decision. I admire them for it. And I think that is really respectable and commendable from a creative standpoint when you go out on a high instead of continuing something past its expiration date. I mean, look at the recent seasons of Family Guy. Look at the recent seasons, not even recent seasons. Look at The Simpsons for going on probably over a decade. When was The Simpsons last entertaining? Futurama, the revival, was a stinker. Rick and Morty stopped being good past like probably season 3 too. Season 4 was a stinker, and then it kind of got a little better, but it's just mostly mediocre now, and that's sad. That's sad when you have something special and then allow it to fester. So I mean, even though I think it sucks they're not making any more episodes, the choice I respect, Producer Gavin.
Yeah, and you know, if I could, you know, not to put on my big brain hat or whatever, because I'm a big media fan, I think they chose the perfect time to do it as well.
Mm-hmm.
They just finished the season. They didn't have anything done for the next one yet. And on top of that, I'm not sure if you saw, there's a huge merger happening with Warner Brothers and Paramount now. They chose a perfect time to do that because now they can go do whatever they want independently without having to worry about the start of this monopoly taking over their creative control stuff.
Yeah, no, I mean, and retaining maximum creative control over your product, I think, is the dream of any creator. And yeah, there's so many examples that we can point to of things that went on, continued far past their prime, that I think it's also incumbent upon us to support and praise the creators who do make the decision to leave something, leave well enough alone, as it were. And so I'm glad just to see that they had the opportunity to make something special to them and then see it through to its conclusion without compromising on quality. Unfortunately, that's all the time I have with you tonight, ladies and gentlemen. So I'll leave you with my parting words of wisdom, as always, wherever you are, whoever you're with, and whatever you're doing. Remember that life is a state of mind. See you next week.
Let's begin. Let's talk about your relationship.
I can't stand all these wild swings, Doc. It's driving me crazy. It's hot, it's cold.
How does that make you feel?
Oh, I'm so confused. I can't figure out how to act, what to wear.
Listen up, Buttercup. You're in Indiana. This is the way it is. Just listen to WIBC.
Are the weather swings about to put you in therapy? Save yourself the copay and listen to WIBC for updates, because it could change in the next 10 minutes.
Shall we schedule something next week?
Your winter therapy station, 93 WIBC.
Window Nation, Windows, WindowNation.com. Window Nation was recently ranked highest on Forbes' list of best window installation companies, so you can trust Window Nation for high-quality, affordable windows. That's what I did. They were in and out of my house within a day, replaced the whole front of my house with brand new windows, saving a ton on energy bills, keeping the cold air out and the warm air in with Window Nation and WindowNation.com.